Kerry about to get this last quarter underway. A goal the difference. St Kilda have desperately got to get into this game early in this last quarter to have any show. The ball in no one's hands at all, in no man's land, I was trying to say. It comes to ground, and again the umpire has got to throw it up. Umpire Sawyers. Forward. Wallace trying to get it away. You've just got to kick it off the ground, get it out quickly, and that's what Hawthorn tried to do, but tucked. In endeavouring to do so, threw it to Domenico, and the umpire right on the spot will award the free kick, and it's going to Daryl Cunningham. Now Cunningham right in that mud patch, gets the ball out of there, going short towards centre half forward, and leading well is David Grant. Now David Grant, 50 metres from goal. The ball's new, so remember he can kick it long, and he does exactly that. Lockett trying to find him, but gets away from him. Now Kennedy playing on that half back line, was on the half forward line earlier, across to Eade going into that centre. See Hawthorn building it up through that centre corridor. Lester Smith now playing up forward. He chips it out on that half forward flank, still in the centre corridor, and taking a good mark is Gary Buckenara. Hawthorn retained possession. He in turn goes long up to that goal square, and a magnificent mark, Peter McConville. He's had a lot of experience, coolness, and he is a definite acquisition as far as St Kilda are concerned. He's had 7 kicks and has played exceptionally well. Burns in there, who's just come onto the ground replacing Mace. Trying to break away, but endeavouring to do so was a little slow. And a very good tackle laid by his opposite number, Terry Wallace.
Okay, well, coming back there is Terry Wallace. And Terry Wallace, the 15 metres, will bring him just over the 50-metre mark. Kicks it high. Forward. Alistair Ford played a good game and has had 10 kicks today and has done very well on the big man duels. And he's kicking it out there, looking for McConville. McConville's taken it. No, he hasn't been paid by the umpire. Rodney Eade over to Whitman, and the players will fall on top of it. Well,
St Kilda definitely bringing Hawthorn back to their level by very, very strong tackling. You're not able to get away, or players not able to get away in these heavy conditions, and the advantage is with the tackler.
They're doing very well, as you say, Don, and Cunningham, Daryl Cunningham, streams through the back and kicks it to the centre wing, and I think you'll let the ball go over the line now to bounce. Well, the Hawks in the third quarter kicked 2 goals, 5, and St Kilda failed to register any score, so that got the Hawks this advantage they have on the scoreboard by 6 points. And it's Buckenara's had kicked 2 goals, and Dunstall 2 for the Hawks. This will find Abbott low. Platten, a very quiet player. Whitman, and the ball goes over the line to bounce with Trevor Barker.
It was interesting the way Platten kicked that ball there, Ray. Very, very hurried, and that's an indication that the pressure must be really on, because he thought so, although he had plenty of time, we could see he had plenty of time, but he obviously thought he didn't, because of the pressure in the past had been exerted in such a way that players just had to get their quick kick.
Well, Trevor Barker certainly had a lot of play today. He's had 12 possessions, as we find Michael Tuck, another active player. He's had 13 possessions. He sends it up there. Rodney Eade in the front, Curran at the back. Whitman doing well since he's come on. Kennedy, a little bit quiet. Wallace traps the ball, and he looks down to the half-forward line. Michael McCarthy, and Mike McCarthy takes the mark in front of Gamble. Decides to kick it down full forward. Dunstall at the back. Rodney Lester Smith. Well, unusual to see Rod Lester Smith down forward. Has played most of his games in the back for Hawthorn since he came from East Fremantle. And Rodney Lester Smith around about 35 metres out, and we'll use the drop punt. Looks like he knows how to kick a goal. Puts his head down, and I think he's put it straight through the middle. So maybe Hawthorn are now starting to take control here in this early days of the last quarter. Hawthorn 5-11-41, leading St Kilda 4-5-29.
As Lester Smith kicked his first goal, and Hawthorn's 5th, Mace came on for the umpteenth time, replacing young David Whitty on the half-forward flank. And that move could have cost the goal as far as St Kilda was concerned. An ill-timed move, as we see back here in the play, in the centre square, players again endeavouring to get it out. And Michael Tuck, who has been in everything, gets it across to John Platten. And Tuck playing a very good captain's game. And in turn, Lester Smith, who normally plays in the back line, up onto that forward line. Hawthorn have made a multitude of moves, and there was a magnificent mark. No, the umpire said play on. He said it just touched the ground before Glenn Hayward could control it. Umpire Kerry, making the decision there, decided to throw the ball up. Forward. Gamble, a quick kick. McConville out by himself, onto the left foot, goes long along that centre wing. Cunningham and Eade, the two 26ers battling. Cunningham can't control it. However, lays a heavy tackle. Lowe, playing at centre half forward, uses his strength. Burns, trying to get away from Kennedy but can't. Play a little bit scrambly now as Howard, who is covering a lot of ground, just 15 seconds earlier was down on the forward line taking a diving chest mark, and now is picking up kicks on the half back line. The captain, Trevor Barker, goes up forward but taking a good mark. Two Hawthorn players could have raffled that mark, Paul Abbott or Dermot Brereton, but Brereton left it for Paul Abbott.
Paul Abbott at centre half back, sending the Hawks forward. Peter Curran, McConville nearly taken there by Peter McConville. His 8th mark as it comes down to McCarthy. Oh, good play, but his handball, it's straight over there to Rick Nixon. He had no support there, McCarthy. Curran, Alistair Ford, over to Mark Gamble. Can he control it? He has. And Mark Gamble sends it down there, looking there for, I think you'll find that's just trying to pick Andrew Manning. Thanks, Don. Kevin Barker, the captain. Kicks it right across to Robert Mace. He got the time to pick it up, but it's picked up there nicely by Burns. He flicks it over there to Gotch, and no, it's David Grant. So David Grant, 40 metres out. Should be a little bit too far out for David Grant, even though the ball hasn't had time to be extremely heavy. But Grant already kicked one goal. What's he done? Is he kicked it high? Hopefully no, offline. So it's 1 point. So St Kilda 4-6, 24. Trailing Hawthorn 5-11, 41, 17 point in arrears here at Princes Park. 7 minutes in the last quarter of the pro football game between Hawthorn and St Kilda.
That was good play by Greg Burns, showed a lot of courage the way he went in after that ball, and then a nice little chip to David Grant. Deserved better than a point. Gary Ayres. Tuck has picked up a million kicks and showing a fine example as a ruck rover. That loose man, and the St Kilda players have got to pick him up. Now Hawthorn coming through that centre corridor again. McConville punches the ball away. Done well today, Peter McConville. Rodney Eade on the Foster's logo. Goes onto his left foot. McConville has the ball punched away from him, but showed courage backing back. Eade again, butters up. Now onto the right foot. Goes long to the goal square. Gamble behind. And Gamble, a very impressive player. Plays on very quickly. Not good play. Using his speed, strength. Dunstall goes goalward, but Nixon can't control it now. Right across the face of goal. And out of bounds on the full, a kick from Peter Curran, and to take it, Daryl Cunningham. Play on, says the umpire. Daryl Cunningham. Will he be paid the advantage? I think he is, and will be. A push by Mick McCarthy after Cunningham had got rid of the ball, and St Kilda will receive the advantage further down the ground, and to take the kick, Greg Burns. Now Burns bringing the ball back into the centre, looking for and finding Lowe. Stuart Lowe started the season off in the under-19s, goes across to forward and in turn to centre half forward. The ball bounces. Ayres, one hand. A lot of skill, Gary Ayres, and very cool. However, can't get the ball to Glenn Howard before it goes over the boundary line. And the ball to be thrown in midway between St Kilda's left half forward flank and centre wing.
Thrown in. Low. Bradley Gotch, and I think you'll find Rowan Saws will decide on the ball up. Well, the St Kilda side, they've had 4 goal kickers. Lockett, Collins, Gotch and Grant have all kicked one each. As the Tuck, Barker. What a good player Trevor Barker's been today. He's had 14 kicks, he's had 7 marks and has been in the action all day. Played a great captain's game, Trevor Barker. As we find Peter Swab, gets it over to Gary Ayres, Glenn Howard. And Howard goes through the centre. Played a very good game today, as Don said, Howard. And we've got Rod Lester-Smith doing a little bit of damage up forward, and could have been a free kick to Robbie Elphingston, yes. He's held him, and Rob Elphingston will get the free kick to relieve the pressure at centre half back. Kicks it across the centre. The experienced Michael Tuck. What a player he's been. That's his 16th possession. And Alistair Ford should have been paid that. Sure, of course it was, Don. I agree. Michael Tuck kicks it down. Oh, nearly taken there by Mark Gamble. I think you'll find McCarthy. Buckanara. Can he control it? He gets the hand pass. Peter Curran straightens up. Puts it right through the middle. How easy now for the Hawthorn side. That's their 6th goal. 6 goals, 11-47. St Kilda 4-6-30. and now they're starting to take complete control of this game here at Princes Park.
Well, it's good to see the Hawthorn players, Rod Lester-Smith in particular, going across and congratulating the initiative, Mick McCarthy. Mick McCarthy got it out to Buckenara. Buckenara slipped and he got his handball across to Curran, and Curran, under really no pressure, went in and kicked Hawthorn's 6th goal. The ball back in the centre as Wallace, a real grouter, gets the ball out of that centre square, only to find Cunningham leading in the race for the ball. The boos from the crowd. Di Domenico hot on his hammer. Elphingston just fumbles at the crucial time, which allows plenty of time for the Hawthorn player to smother Elphingston kick. He follows up well, gets it back into the centre. Burns over his head. Howard slips at the crucial time. Burns, a courageous player, gets a good handball out to Daryl Cunningham, who's played well late in this last quarter. Stuart Lowe, the big centre half forward. Oh, what a shocking kick, Stuart. You'll have to do a little bit of work on that. Langford in front. That's a good position to play, Chris Langford, because the ball is now going to start and drop. The players getting a little tired. The ball won't carry. Is also getting very heavy. Trevor Barker's played a very good game. The best game I've seen Trevor Barker play for a while. Goes up looking for Lockett, but he goes one-handed. Ayres coming through despite the opposition from Bradley Gotch, and the ball is over the boundary line to be thrown in St Kilda's left forward pocket. 47 Hawthorn playing 30 St Kilda. We've played 12 minutes into this last quarter as Manning went off and Phil Cronin comes on.
Okay, the ball comes down the ground. Michael Tuck, what a player he's been today. Abbott coming in as Gotch. Can he pick it up? He's flicked it over the hand pass. Narkle, not as prominent today. Nixon, can he pick it up? It's been pushed in the back there, I'd say, umpire, but no. Peter Swab's got time, being caught. Could be a free to St Kilda. Good decision, umpire. Good decision there from umpire Carey. And Philip Narkle, the ex-Swans district player. As Don has mentioned a few times this year, we've seen him play some good games. What's he done? Has he kicked it, but he's offline. Tony Lockett punched it over the top. Can he get it? He's been outnumbered, and it'll go over the line out of bounds. Well, 17 points in front here at Princes Park. Don, I think Hawthorn probably now just doing it on the bit. We just say St Kilda struggling down there at forward to convert.
Well, Hawthorn look far more solid in their approach to their game. They're in front there by 17 points. And on a game like today, or in conditions like today, that's a very, very handy lead. Because I can't see St Kilda coming back, because they just seem to be going through the motions, whereas Hawthorn look dangerous every time they go down forward. Ayres, that's a high kick, comes over the back. Barker, well done Trevor Barker, onto the left foot, dodges. Good stuff. What can he do now? Lays a handball out to Narkle. Narkle go long, he does. And goalward, and that's a good goal by Phil Narkle. That's his first goal, long overdue, because he's had a lot of opportunities up forward, been a little bit inaccurate, and he's registered St Kilda's 5th goal. Hawthorn 6-11-47. St Kilda 5-6-36.
Well, I'm sure Graham Jelly would be pleased with St Kilda's endeavour today after well, their effort last week against Carlton was a lot to be desired, but maybe Hawthorn's having a little bit of a letdown from the night premiership on Tuesday night. So we find that in the centre, Burns, Wallace, but straight to McConville. Oh, what a player he's been. He's had 13 possessions. Kicks it down there to Cunningham. Is this the St Kilda revival? As he kicks it to full forward. Over the back is Ayres. Kennedy there. Takes the ball from Ayres. Gets the ball and kicks it. Trevor Barker, a busy player. Can he get round? He straightens up his little pass. Is he looking for Lockett? And he's found Tony Lockett. Good play, St Kilda. This is very good football. So the Hawthorn back line looking unusually a little bit under pressure there. So Tony Lockett, 40 metres out, has had 1 goal and slight breeze coming across the ground. So he's got to kick it to the left and let it come back, but offline, Tony. Not a good kick. He has been very, very inaccurate today, and it's only a behind. Would have been a valuable goal for St Kilda. So Hawthorn hold the lead, 10 points, 47 Hawthorn, St Kilda 37, 15 minutes in the last quarter of Princes Park.
Well, Platten off and Loveridge on, as we see here. Richard picking up a kick. Richard Loveridge, a hurried kick back to John Collins, who's been a very, very solid player. Now Collins, a little chip. And who's he found? Diving Phil Cronin. Now Cronin, half-forward flank, right on that 50-metre line. Now the left footer looking down the ground. There's no movement in the St Kilda camp. The forwards, you must move. You must move. Give him something to kick to. He's gone long, hoping for Lockett or Lowe. And taking a very good mark is Paul Abbott. Now the Hawthorn ruckman gets it across to Buckenara, who's playing up on that back line now. Hawthorn have made a number of moves to get back into this game. Cunningham across to Mace. Mace, a long high kick. It's floating to the right, and he is, in golfing terms, sliced the ball, and it has gone over the boundary line right in front of the scoreboard. 47, playing 37, a 10-point advantage, 15 minutes of this last quarter. Hawthorn holding sway. Low. Ayres. Ever cool Gary Ayres. Changed direction of play with a torpedo punt. It's a nice long kick. McCarthy trips just at the crucial time. Gamble, former Frankston player. First year. Been very, very good player too. Cunningham going long onto that left foot, and the ball punched over the boundary line by Gary Ayres. And again to be thrown in. St Kilda's left forward pocket.
Well, 7,159 people paid $20,879 here today, so a very, very, very small crowd here for a VFL game. As the ball comes down to the ground and no one can to pick it up. Yes, it's Rick Nixon. He's looking for Brad Gotch, but Hawthorn cool in the crisis. And they're under a little bit of pressure, Don, at the moment, the Hawks.
They certainly are, Ray, but you can always tell the size of the crowd at halftime. If the pies are hot, there's not much of a crowd, and the pies were very, very hot today, I can tell you. So well, that's an indication of the size of the crowd.
You'd be happy, Don, because you normally eat 3 of them, and we all can't get one here, can we, fellas? So Don hasn't walked. So that's a good sign of the pies are hot. As kicking up there is Cunningham. Oh, Burton. He's up the back again. Can he pick it up, Burns? I think the umpire's going to ask for the ball to be thrown in, I'd say. Yes, he has. So 10 points in front here, Hawthorn. And they've had 17 shots to St Kilda 12, but that's not an indication of the scoreboard, because on the game, St Kilda's had a lot of play. Bradley Gotch, what's he done? Left foot snap, but offline, I'd say. Through for behind. So 9 points in the rears as the Saints. Hawthorn 47, St Kilda 38.
Well, a goal will make it very, very interesting for St Kilda right now. We predicted earlier, and we thought that Hawthorn were playing with a lot of composure, but that goal from Narkle has certainly brought St Kilda back into the game, as they're only 9 points behind now, and a goal would make them 3, and it'd be very interesting from that point of view. The ball now comes to ground. Lester Smith sockets it off the ground, follows up. Good play, Rod Lester Smith. Back in towards centre half forward. Di Domenico by himself. He controlled the bounce, goes goalward. And it is so easy. Every time Hawthorn go forward, they seem to capitalise. Good Smith play, Rod Lester Smith. Peter Curran was also involved, and Di Domenico, the finisher. Robert Di Domenico has kicked his first goal, and that's Hawthorn 7. Hawthorn 7-11, 53. St Kilda 5-8, 38, and we've played 17 minutes of this last quarter.
Well, most disappointing for the Saints. They had a lot of the play in the last 10 minutes, but we couldn't convert, and that's the difference. Good sides convert, and well, Hawthorn are probably they are the favourites of this year's 1986 flag. As we find Terry Wallace grabs the ball.
Buckenara is ruck roving. Michael Tuck on the half forward flank.
Thanks, Don. We find Abbott in the ruck now, and giving well, the Alan Jeans has got Abbott and Deere this year, 2 big fellas that he's going to use, I'd say, through the final series, which he didn't have last year. Or he had them, but he didn't use them. And Chris Langford, the ruckman, now at full back. So the Hawks adding to their big man power. Robert Mace is in there, the ex-Hawthorn player, tries to tunnel it out to Tony Lockett now down on the, looks like Tony Lockett's on the ball, I'd say, in the ruck there, Don. Yes, Tony Lockett's down there.
Well, all the ruckman can do here is really just go for the big thump and try and punch it out. Clench the fist and just hammer it out, because it's going to be trapped unless you can push it out. And see the players throwing themselves in there. They really can't get it out the way they can throw themselves across the ball. And that's been, well, Barker has finally got it out at long last, but it's a high tackle by Rodney Eade on John Collins, and Collins has put himself in today and played very, very well. Gets it across to Cunningham, then an in turn to Barker. Barker, another good player today. That left foot kick, and the advantage to be played down the ground. Phil Cronin has scooted off with the ball, but the umpire said, you've got to bring it back, Phil. It wasn't yours, and it's going to Bradley Gotch.
Bradley Gotch, 50 metres, sends it up to full forward. Stewie Lowe nearly took it. Peter Swab, and he relieves the pressure, sends it down to the half-back line, and Bradley Gotch will let the ball go over the line and out of bounds. Coming up to the 20-minute mark here, and the Hawks 7-11 to 53, leading St Kilda 5-8, 38. and slowly got on top since half-time, but a good effort from the Saints. They haven't they haven't been disgraced here at Princes Park today. Stuart Lowe.
It's not much consolation not being disgraced when you don't lose, and it's St Kilda they always seem to stay with the team either for a half or a quarter, but just haven't got the skill to stay there all day. That's their only problem. They really do try. They've got a lot of body players, and one of them there is Greg Burns, and they try, and you can't question that, but just their skill, their finishing off in certain times, and their forward line is just not set up for them to be a good side.
Well, we've seen them a few times this year, Don, and you always have a feeling the other side can always do enough to beat them. Is that a fair comment?
My word, Ray, as we see here, Nixon getting it up towards centre-half forward, and Ayres just staying behind and really not interested in setting it up, just to relieve the pressure. Kick straight across the ground. It bounces before it goes over the boundary line. That was a safety first kick, and the ball again to be thrown in midway between St Kilda's left half forward flank and centre wing. Big fellas do battle. Well done, Tony Lockett. Got it over the back. Now they're setting it up through Kennedy to Wallace, but he gets slung just at the crucial time. Well done, umpire. Plays the advantage. Kennedy going through that centre corridor, and Hawthorn have looked a lot better since they've gone forward through that centre corridor, setting up a lot of goals. Gamble. He went to ground, but the Hawthorn player underneath was Curran, who did very well to get that out. The ball now on that 50-metre line. Players again will throw themselves over the ball, and I think again the umpire for the umpteenth time. It's becoming commonplace now for the umpire to throw this ball up around the ground, more so than used to, because a lot of players do dive on the ground, on the ball, and also they're very conscious of tackling. Barker, little cool, gets it across to Gamble. In turn, along that outer centre wing. Ball bounces just by that logo. Hawthorn picking it up through Di-Pierdomenico. He sets it up a long one across to the mobile Abbott, who's named at centre-half back, but now in the ruck. Gets it up to the captain Tuck, but he trips just at the crucial time. Buckenara now ruck roving. A high ball up to Alistair Ford. Can he hold it? Alistair, you had no one around you, son. It wasn't that hot. Loveridge in there battling. Can't get it out. McCarthy does finally. Oh, it stacks on the mill. Players using strength as they throw one another off the ball. And again, the umpire, and this time Rowan Sawyers will have to throw it up.
St Kilda 15 points in arrears. This is coming up to time on the last quarter. We find Rodley Lester-Smith. Oh, Jason Dunstall nearly took the mark. But we find Danny Frawley. Can he pick it up? He hand passes to John Collins. And a good player all day today, John Collins. Peter McConville at the 50-metre line. Mark Gamble, another good player. Well, he's been a good player all year, and he sends it up there. Gary Ayres. Oh, cool in the crisis, Gary Ayres.
Played well in this last quarter, Gary Ayres.
Great footballer, Don. And he hits it over there to Abbott. Abbott over to Terry Wallace, another great player. You would have played with Terry Wallace in your time here, Don, as it comes out the back. And Robert Elphingston, a little bit quieter today than normal for Robert. At the back, oh, nearly a good mark there taken by Cunningham. And a bit more discipline today from Jeffrey Cunningham. Paul Abbott has got time, kicks it over to Rodney Eade. Good play there from Barker, but coming in there is Whitman. But Barker played well today for the captain. Loveridge will take the mark in the muddy centre of Princes Park.
Looks like Barker's got a roving commission as he's picking up kicks on the forward line, on half-back line. Di-Pierdomenico chipping a ball in and finding Buckenara. Buckenara changing with Michael Tuck on the half-forward flank, takes a chest mark, and has certainly come into the game since half-time. He was responsible for a couple of goals. In fact, they were 2 goals early in the second quarter, but the way he played in the third quarter was responsible for Hawthorn getting back into this game. And there's a safe mark taken by the potato farmer, Danny Frawley. Now Frawley hasn't got much area or distance to kick. Dunstall really did stand the mark there, and that was a good mark taken by Curran right on that 50-metre line. Good play also by Dunstable and not letting Frawley get away and having plenty of time and area in which to kick. There's a lead on from Dunstall. He's found no. Buckenara has the ball punched away. Di-Pierdomenico in there. McConville. Di-Pierdomenico. And the umpire will award it to McConville. It's really like slow motion. You can see what the players are trying to do. The players up the ground made the move. On a dry ground day, it'd be very hard to pick up because they move so quickly, but the conditions being what they are, the players are moving very slowly. The ball on the half-back line for Hawthorn. Schwab across to Ayres. And Hawthorn really just going through the motions now. They're well in control. 53 points playing 38. We're right on the 25-minute mark. In fact, we're going into time on now.
Howard sends it down there, and Gary Buckenara. Well, good to see Gary Buckenara back in the side and settling in, because he had a very bad leg injury in the 83 grand final, and he's certainly working his way back.
I think Mick was off then.
Mike McCarthy offed on?
No, I thought he was off, played on, in other words.
Okay, Mike McCarthy at the 50-metre mark, sends it high. Rod Lester-Smith, Whitman, straight through the middle. Right through the middle from young Chris Whitman. And now Hawthorn making the score a little bit more respectable. Takes him to 21 points in front. 8-11-59, 5-8-38. I don't feel the scoreboard tells the story of the game though, Don, but well, I guess Hawthorn could say put this down to a not a good performance and still get the 4 points.
Well, that's right, Ray. St Kilda played very well the first half. Hawthorn has certainly been in, but that was a very, very good goal by Whitman. The ball was an awkward-looking kick from McCarthy, went up, tumbled off the hands of the pack, and Whitman playing on the wing read it very well. And St Kilda players, you must pick up these fellows as they run down the ground, because they are very dangerous, and Whitman shouldn't have been able to score that goal. Now the ball on the outer wing, players overrunning it. Cunningham, who's played very well today, across to Alistair Ford. In towards centre half forward goes Alistair Ford. Low, just couldn't have controlled it. And again, backing up and playing very cool in a crisis is Chris Langford. Rodney Eade now has the mark from Langford. And Darryl Cunningham chips in and takes it. Indirect by Eade. And Cunningham onto the left foot towards centre half forward. And the small man on the ground, Bradley Gott, should have been paid that mark. Cronin now onto his left foot, which is his normal kicking foot. Low going to ground, controls the ball, shoots it out the back. Schwab in there, twist turn, gets a quick right foot to no one in particular. Narkle tackled strongly by Tuck, and I think Phil Narkle's injured. Little slow getting up, as we see there, a leap from behind by Rod Lester-Smith. Shovels the ball out, but the umpire said you threw it right. And the free kick going to Trevor Barker. Now Barker, a very good player, over to the Foster's logo. Gamble, another good player for St Kilda. Goes long and high towards centre half forward. Gives the forwards a chance if he can move the ball quickly. Dermot Brereton at centre half back. Now Glenn Howard. Howard, who's been at Hawthorn a long time, showed remarkable improvement this year as the siren goes to finish the game. And Hawthorn run out easy winners in the end. 8-11-59. St Kilda 5-8-38.